My TV. ANOM. I don't want to say it wrong. What is that? What did I say? The most genius FBI
Australian
operation.
suburb. The streets are still. The neighborhood sleeps soundly. In a few seconds, the silence will come to an abrupt end. Armed officers will storm through family homes. Flashlights will cut through the darkness, illuminating the startled faces of criminals
Why?
violently ripped from their sleep. Scenes
Oh,
like
they're criminals. And this is the U.S.?
these will happen all across the world. A global storm is coming down on organized crime. As the sun is rising from Asia to Europe and finally to the Americas, police in 16 countries will strike. They will raid drug labs, secret warehouses, and private residences.
At
Around
one
9,000
time?
police officers will make over 800 arrests. Nearly 40 tons of drugs, along with countless weapons and millions
40 tons in one night? Like I always said, bro, once y'all making too much of it, they gotta come interrupt it. And they'll let somebody else grow, but that somebody else gotta know where to stay at. Like don't try to overstep into our territory, cause we have to make more money than y'all. How would that be if the people in, how can I say this? The people in the world, like us regular people, you and I, you know what I'm saying, make more than the people that make everything happen. If y'all don't know what I mean, think about it. They make everything happen. If you and I made more money than them, they have to, at that point, I gotta think
cash
about
and crypto
it. Think about
will
it.
be seized.
I don't want nobody after me for saying the knowledge I
Operation
know.
Trojan
Operation
Shield.
Trojan first of a kind global
It's been the
operation.
biggest investigation and operation
Biggest
that the
criminal
AFP's
sting ever.
Entire organized crime rings will cease to exist from one minute to the next. It will be the final act of Operation Trojan Shield. The largest sting operation ever, orchestrated by
Trojan
the FBI
Steel?
and Europol. And at the heart of it all is this phone. This video is partially based on the book Dark Wire by Joseph Cox. Cox is an investigative journalist. He went deep into the criminal underworld for his research. Due to the nature of some anonymous sources, we are unable to verify all the information independently. We highly recommend checking out the book.
So is this another one that's based off a book? I know the last one I watched was something based off a book, and that was crazy.
Side too. They want to throw over load as they leave.
When can we start?
I have a job ready as tomorrow to pick up. It's already here.
This is a real conversation between two drug traffickers, sent via an encrypted phone. Encrypted phones are very special devices. They often lack functions like camera
Pre-ad?
and GPS, and are designed to enable more privacy. People use these phones when they don't want to be tracked. Politicians, military, corporations, a wide range of people use privacy-focused devices. The market for these phones is massive. For obvious reasons, they are also very appealing to criminals. Encrypted phones are often modified consumer phones with additional privacy tools. Sky ECC, EncroChat, and Phantom Secure, to name a few, were big players in the crime world. Secure phones like these don't come cheap. Phantom Secure, for example, charged up to $2,000 for a 6-month subscription. This is the price you pay for absolute privacy. Some of these phones come with a very handy feature.
So, he picked up the load, and I think he's been arrested and in need. There's a lot of evidence and f***ing shit on my BlackBerry. Yeah, I need that evidence gone, ASAP.
1 sec.
But the thing is, cops can't access it, right?
They can't even access that anyways, yeah?
If a phone is ever compromised, a remote wipe command known as kill switch can be activated. This kill switch wipes all
I didn't
the
know this.
data from
This is
the
something
phone,
I didn't know.
making it completely useless.
I knew they
For
did
law
they
enforcement,
illegal.
this is a
You know,
nightmare.
appreciate
Even
it
if
if I
police
love
manage to seize one of these devices, all potential evidence can be destroyed remotely.
the real.
Over the past
Shell
few years,
bill with
law
the K.
enforcement has aggressively cracked down on
Appreciate
encrypted
that.
phone companies. One by one, companies like Phantom Secure and Sky ECC were shut down, leaving behind a massive vacuum. As in any industry, a vacuum presents an opportunity, and one man seeks to seize it. It is 2018. A rather dodgy businessman has an idea. He goes by the name Afgu. Afgu is an expert when it comes to encrypted phones, selling phantom secure devices to criminals. He's a bit of a geek, though not much of a coder. Previously, Afgu worked alongside one of Australia's most notorious drug traffickers, Hakan Ayak. Known as the Facebook gangster for publicly documenting his criminal lifestyle online, Ayak is deeply connected in the underworld.
I've never heard of him.
Observing
I've never heard
the
of him.
gap left by all those encrypted phone companies going down, Afgu hatches a plan. He wants to launch the next big encrypted phone, Anom. Anom devices
That's
are
why it's the. I didn't know how to say it. Anom. Well, I didn't know what sound this thing right here made. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know what sound it
essentially
made.
off-the-shelf Google Pixel phones, modified to run a custom operating system called Arcane OS. This is where it gets interesting. At first glance, it looks like any other phone. There's
Yeah.
apps like Tinder, Netflix, and Spotify, but when you tap them, nothing happens. They're just dummies. Anom phones come with several special features. One of them is pin scrambling. It randomly shuffles the numbers on the keypad, making it difficult for anyone nearby to figure out your passcode. The real magic is unlocked when you enter
That's cold. That's cold. Y'all give them niggas that be on the cheat idea. That's cold. Like it randomly so even if you, well, if it was a pattern type of thing, it's like the numbers are that's
a different
that's
pin.
cold.
When you unlock the phone this way, you only see these three apps: settings, the clock, and a calculator.
Wait,
The
how do he
calculator
know
works
this?
Just
Who told him this? Like, why does he know this? He
It's
knows
like a
something we
normal one.
don't.
But if you enter a special code, the heart of the device reveals itself, the Anom Messenger. It allows you to chat with an Anom user anonymously. In
Lace,
case things go
appreciate that.
south, the phone also has a kill switch.
Lace the Great.
Anom will soon become a thriving tech startup for organized crime, and Afgu will become its CEO. But his true plan goes far beyond that. This story is about a brilliant sting operation, but it's also about privacy. How many input fields have you filled in your life? Remember the account from that sketchy online store you ordered from a decade ago, or that weird form about that thing you once cared about? Data brokers are companies that collect your private information from the farthest corners of the internet and sell it often to the highest bidder. That way your data can easily end up in the hands of cyber criminals. Think identity theft, fraudulent loans, and even maxed out credit cards. Incogni forces data brokers to delete your sensitive information.
Oh, it's
All
an
you
ad.
need to do is sign up
Okay.
and let Incogni do the work. Their dashboard keeps you updated on which companies have removed your data. Keeping your subscription means that Incogni also makes sure that data brokers don't add your data back to their roster later. Scan this QR code or head to incogni.com/FernTV.
Yeah, this
to
something
get
hey, y'all
exclusive
need this. I ain't even want to
60%
skip
off
this.
your
It's
annual
something y'all
Incogni
might
plan
need.
with the code FernTV.
I get this call from this lawyer who I've never heard of, and who basically said, I want to meet you tomorrow.
This is
Diego?
Andrew Young. He works for the Department of Justice in San Diego, California. Young and his team are meeting the mysterious attorney. His client, none other than Afgu. Turns out the lawyer reached out to broker a deal. Afgu is offering his product, Anom, to the FBI. The offer, Afgu will build the next generation of privacy phones, and law enforcement will have total access. A hidden back door. The ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for Afgu, in case he ever needed one. His personal intentions for that are not clear. Presumably, there's already a lot of dirt on them. Afgu's attorney pitches the phone to the authorities like a Silicon Valley tech demo. Andrew Young and his team quickly realize this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What could be more valuable than having control over thousands of devices designed for criminals? Young and
Thousands?
the FBI
At one time?
agreed to work with Afgu. But many
If-
questions remain unanswered.
Did the Facebook gangster guys?
Young and the FBI agreed to work with Afgu.
Okay, I
Many
thought they said work with the
questions remain
FBI.
unanswered.
So how you gonna
How
switch
should the
up?
backdoor be implemented in Anom? And how do you get criminals to start using the phones? And there is, of course, another major problem. Without evidence of a crime, spying on phones inside the US is illegal.
Okay.
Young is concerned the operation might not get approved by the Department of Justice. So the FBI reaches out to Australian law enforcement instead, and they seem to be stoked by the idea.
So
With the help-
because it was illegal here, They said we gonna go to another country where it's not. It still should be illegal.
From the
Not
Australian Federal Police,
thriving for them, but
AFP,
if they was in the
first
U.S.
Anon
doing
phones
the
can hit
stuff,
black
it's,
market in Australia. The trap is set.
oh, so since it's wait, that could go a lot of different ways. If it's start off in what is it, Australia, then that phone travels to the U.S. That's different. That means it got there, and it's still on Australian servers, if I'm not mistaken.
Months go by as Afku builds his company. The FBI remains hidden in the shadows. He hires coders from around the globe. They all work from home, completely unaware of their real employer. As CEO, Afku collaborates closely with law enforcement. They soon manage to implement a backdoor that allows the Australian police to gather intelligence from Anon phones. The FBI is still left out. The mechanism is straightforward. When a user sends a message to another user, that message is silently copied and redirected to a third location, controlled
Every
by the
time?
authorities. The users will not notice
So
a thing.
they always
Now,
up.
Anon
They're
just needs
always
user.
up. Like they always up. Anything you ever sent in your everlasting anything, they got it. Even if it's some regular stuff, if it's sent from that phone, it's over with. And that phone is strictly meant for the bad stuff. It's strictly meant for the bad stuff. So it's not even no good messages in there. No,
The strategy
nothing.
is to
Not
rely
even a
on
good
word of
morning.
mouth, just like any other product in the criminal underworld. Afku starts handing out Anon phones to Australian criminals for free. They in turn tell others
For free. All right then and there, nothing is free. Niggas want something, even if it's just $1. Nothing is free. Nothing. Y'all took it for and used it.
of the device, and so on and so
Wait,
forth.
what year was this? What year was this? Maybe it's another time. What year was this? What year is it based?
After
So
a
this is back
series
in
of tests,
They got
the moment
phones,
of truth
so it
arrives.
can't be that
An
old.
Australian AFP officer stares at his screen in anticipation. He can hardly believe his eyes when the first intercepted message appears. All the hard work has finally paid off. It's 2019. Anon has several hundred users. Demand is skyrocketing, and deliveries are spreading all over the country. Drug traffickers, Italian mobsters, and bike gangs, all of them are using Anon to discuss business. Meanwhile, the AFP is meticulously monitoring every message, gaining invaluable insights
Meticulously.
into criminal operations. But the FBI is still not allowed to read the messages. Young needs approval from higher ranks. After a lot of meetings and persuasion, he finally gets what he wants. His approach is somewhat dubious, though. Running servers with intercepted messages on US soil is prohibited, and Australia is legally not allowed to share their intelligence. The FBI needs another country to host the operation and pass
So it's like, bro, they using other countries to make sure y'all cat. Cause some of y'all smart and slick and sly and can get away with it for a long period of time. And to the like you always on their radar, but you can get away with it for so long period of time if you got loyal, you know. But so they had
the
to
information.
So if the US couldn't get that, Australia could. They couldn't send it like that
To them.
So they had
Young
to,
reaches out to members of the EU, searching for a willing partner to help. Finally, Lithuania volunteers to host the FBI servers.
So Lithuania had to host the servers because the US couldn't access them from Australia.
Let's put a pin into these legal shenanigans for a moment, though. For now, Operation Trojan Shield can finally kick into high gear. This is Swedish drug trafficker Maximilian Rivkin.
He dropping
His
like
nickname is
decent pictures. Like this is a new picture. He ain't got him looking crazy. It's like a regular picture. He probably just chilling with his kids or something right there.
Microsoft.
He ain't making him look
He has
crazy.
scars on his knees and fingers. His right arm shows a tattoo with 3 monkeys. Don't see, don't speak, don't listen. Microsoft runs a meth lab in Sweden and is
See,
well
don't
connected
speak,
in the
don't
country's
listen.
underbelly. He uses EncroChat to communicate with his accomplices. In the summer of 2020, Microsoft receives a weird message. In fact, every EncroChat user receives this message at that very moment. Law enforcement in Europe is cracking down on the encrypted phone company. Microsoft is screwed and urgently needs a new, safer way to conduct his business. So he travels to Istanbul.
Istanbul. Where is I
Where
gotta
he meets
play
Hakan
that
the
Geo
infamous
game.
Facebook gangster. Ayak is working on expanding Anam's reach and sees enormous potential in the company. The meeting leads to a new business partnership. Both men are convinced that Anam is the future of encrypted communication for criminals. Together, they set a goal: push Anam globally and become its biggest resellers. Back in Sweden, Microsoft wasted no time. He begins recruiting a network of people to help distribute
Wait, is that
Anam
his
phones
name? Microsoft is his name?
across the country. With the
just
downfall of
realizing
EncroChat, Anam grows at insane speeds. But users are skeptical. After the recent crackdown, everyone is extremely cautious. Trusting this new phone company is a huge risk. To build credibility, Microsoft
Scrap
tells
it
others
2
that
times.
Anam's
Appreciate
founder
that
is on the
follow.
run from the FBI.
Scrap it
If even
2
the FBI
times.
can't crack the platform, they all should be safe. In a fairly foolish display of trust, he even sends photos of his own Swedish ID card over Anam to reassure his contacts. Meanwhile, law enforcement is watching the whole drama from a distance. FBI agents are analyzing all the messages, including those from Microsoft. Everything is unfolding just as planned. Anam spreads autonomously and self-propelled within the criminal underworld. But one day, an officer reads a series of very concerning messages. Apparently, Microsoft is planning to murder a former cafe owner in Stockholm. Convinced that the man owes him $800,000, Microsoft hires a hitman. In a group chat, the
So
hitman
Microsoft is his name.
suggests to disguise himself as a delivery driver.
So all the way until this point right here, there's been no documented attempts on anybody's life. So this is why it raises red flags. So they was letting them sell and do their job and work, but somebody was finna get hurt,
approach
and now
the
they
target's
gotta
door
step into
and
it.
take him out on the spot. Microsoft loves this. At this point, the Swedish police realize the threat is about to become real. The police has no choice but to warn the target. The assassination fails. Anam is never mentioned as a source.
Wait. So they helped him. Y'all don't think they? Wait. What I just got from that, Microsoft said, bro, who's finna get assassinated, they didn't say a name. Sadwick, what's his name?
At this
What's his
point,
name?
in a group chat, the hitman suggests to disguise himself as a delivery driver, approach the target's door, and take him out on the spot.
It didn't say the name. Sadat, whatever his name, the one that was getting assassinated. He also had the phone because I guess he owed him some money because he in the business with him. The authorities sent him a ping saying, "Hey, they finna get you. Leave." And it never happened. So y'all don't think he told them? He like, "Hey, these phones not it." Or they maybe disguised who it was coming from. They may disguise who it was coming from. Then if that's still cold.
Microsoft
That's
loves this.
Crazy.
At this point, the Swedish police realize the threat is about to become real. The police has no choice but to warn the target. The assassination fails. Anam is never mentioned as a source. It's 2021. Anam has spread at a phenomenal rate. With around 12,000 users
2021, this is new.
and millions of
Stuff is
messages
new.
sent in 45 different languages, the sheer volume of data has become overwhelming.
I bet.
FBI agents are sifting through countless messages from all over the world, ranging from drug deals and murder-for-hire schemes to money laundering operations, and even the occasional unsolicited pic. When lives are at risk, the police are forced to intervene. Anam, however, can never be named as a source during fieldwork, or the entire operation would be exposed. The secrecy of the operation is paramount. With every new user, this problem multiplies.
Yeah, I bet it's a
Eventually,
crazy.
the flood
Wait,
of-
why is he able to talk about this? I think it's based off a book, but this also sounds like this has to be real. unless they just change the name. And I know they really doing this. I know they really doing this in real life.
Intelligence
I know
becomes
they
too
are.
much to process. At the same time, Lithuania's court order is coming to an end. Without Lithuania, where the ANOM servers are running, the FBI
Really?
cannot spy on people anymore. After 4 years, Operation Trojan Shield needs to end. But when it does, it sends shockwaves through global organized crime.
Operation Trojan Shield.
Trojan Shield. Global
The
operation.
biggest investigation and operation
Biggest
that we had.
criminal sting ever.
ANOM users all around the world are waking up to a nightmare. Heavily armed law enforcement enters their home, somehow fully and thoroughly aware of all their illegal dealings. Later that day, the FBI comes out publicly and reveals the secret behind ANOM.
Why did they tell? Niggas, bro. Y'all could have kept that going. Y'all would have had them thinking they people switched on them and they don't know who to blame, and then they would start taking each other out from the inside. If that's what y'all wanted to do. But y'all told on yourselves? Why? When you got more credit or more like joy out of it to keep doing it? I would think.
For the first time, the FBI developed and operated its own hardened encrypted device company called ANOM.
Law enforcement agencies across the globe celebrate their unprecedented victory.
This investigation, called Operation Trojan Shield, shined.
But why did y'all tell on yourself? Like, they didn't know it was the phone. You know how many people they didn't catch that night? Well, I guess they already know their names. But they can, if they doing whatever they doing now, they can change their names. I don't feel like they should have told them themselves. This would have been, like, they would have always had the one up on somebody. Like, they would have always had the one up.
The light into the shadowy industry of hardened encrypted devices.
This is a watershed moment in Australian law enforcement history.
Operation Trojan Shield results in hundreds of arrests, the dismantling of major criminal networks, and the seizure of enormous quantities of drugs, weapons, and illicit funds. The evidence seized by the police is staggering. It feels like the ultimate triumph against organized crime. It certainly is the biggest sting operation in FBI history, probably in all of history. But as the dust settles, a harsh reality begins to emerge. This mission, hailed as a success, could potentially turn into a massive failure. To this day, over 27 million ANOM messages have been collected. Based on this intelligence, over 800 arrests have been made. But
800
experts are
in one
growing
night,
increasingly
700
skeptical
locations.
about whether ANOM's chats will be admissible in court. That's because the evidence may have been obtained through potentially illegal means. A German court has already set a precedent, ruling that ANOM chats cannot be used as evidence in trials because they could not be physically linked to the suspects.
So they couldn't even be used in trials. After all that, like I think the phone is what got them caught. If without the phone, if they had to get let out, bro.
In the case of 3 drug traffickers arrested in Germany, the court only approved physical evidence for trial, dismissing the encrypted messages gathered from ANOM. In Australia, legal uncertainty has already delayed a major trial, with the court grappling over whether the data collected through ANOM's backdoor can be used to convict suspects. If courts worldwide continue to reject the ANOM chat evidence, hundreds of cases could be thrown into jeopardy. Criminals who are caught red-handed through these communications could potentially walk free. Despite their obvious involvement.
Regardless of what happened, and they can't say nothing. Like, they can't say nothing. Bro, at that point, a lot of them gonna get dropped. If it's still going on, a lot of them gonna get dropped because they should have told somebody, I guess. Well, I guess they did. They told the world after the fact. If y'all would have had more cooperation, that's lack of communication. Y'all could have changed the world. Now them niggas just gonna get smarter. And now that they just gonna get smarter. What happened after you get in trouble? After you get punished? You learn from it. You grow from it. You develop. And you get smarter, stronger. Whatever it is you're trying to be. Yeah, that was dumb.
And serious crimes. Other courts declared ANOM's messages as lawfully obtained.
I'm not gonna say that was a smart move. Like, I was rocking with the play. That was a genius play. A genius play. I didn't like how they didn't have to. I don't think they should have. It's just my opinion. I don't think they should have They should have told who it was. They shouldn't have told who it was. Like, kept it anonymous. Y'all would have kept going. Cause nobody knew. I don't believe nobody would have knew it was the phone. Somebody would have came up like, yeah, it's the phone. We got it for free. But all of them didn't get it for free. Some of them got it for free, like testers, like it's like the drug, like little testers. But I don't think they
will likely go through higher instances in many cases, dragging on for years. It's unclear how many ANOM users will ultimately be convicted. While official press releases praise the number of murders supposedly prevented, there's a troubling silence regarding those that were not.
Yeah, if 20 was prevented.
According to Joseph Cox, at least one assassination of a Swedish man was meticulously planned in ANOM chats and executed while authorities observed in real time. As these cases become mired in legal limbo, an uncomfortable question arises. Was Operation Trojan Shield actually worth it? If key evidence is dismissed and trials are delayed or overturned, the operation's long-term impact may be far smaller than law enforcement had hoped. And
nah, I think with that they kind of fold. I mean, they kind of sold. They had it. They had everything in motion, everything in play, everything good and organized and structured and vertical. They had all that done, but they told on themselves. Like, they told on themselves. They let everybody know. They told on themselves to the public without even letting the people that should have been involved know about it. Because maybe they rules and they laws from where the people that established where they at, maybe they wasn't going for it. And they should have just found a workaround with the workaround. They may have rushed it. Humans are they're not that smart. So in a couple years they'll forget about it. Like, y'all forgot about, you just seen something that was so crazy to you last week and you don't even know what it is no more.
Here, one that affects us all.
I do want to watch Dub.
It's about privacy.
I do want to watch Dub.
Today, almost every popular messenger.
But that was a W.
Encrypted.
That's a like. I'm not
Preserving
even
privacy is essential.
That's a W.
It's a basic right.
Fern. That's a W.
Encryption technology
W
is
in my
not just
book.
for criminals, journalists, human rights.
Stamp it.